Welcome everybody to the Houston Texans Madden 21 rebuild franchise. We have an offseason today. We are now a playoff team in the series. Houston just went 10-6 this past year, and we are going to now approach this offseason differently than we've ever really approached the offseason, I feel. I think we can be more aggressive and more calculated than trying to find the 1 to 3 moves that can get us to being better than a 10-6 team. We finally made the playoffs. The 8-8 curse has been broken. But how do we get to a Super Bowl now? Because we were just a 7 seed that went 1 and done to a team that beat us 3 times. So we're now more middle of the pack. And that's going to give us a draft pick this year at number 23. Tell me, are the Houston Texans in this series the number 23 pick away from anything? I don't think so, because what this team needs is an O-line boost, maybe another playmaker, or a corner. And I just don't think we're finding that difference maker at 23. So I think you either have to look at trading up in the draft or trading for a veteran. And if we want to make serious offensive line moves, and I think we're going to have to see Shadon Roseman reach his ceiling, then we're going to have to look at more aggressive trades and maybe no longer having a first round pick. I talked in the intro here about the LA Rams and what they've done becoming a winner, making the move to get Jalen Ramsey and doing some other trades. You know, they brought in Dante Fowler, and they've certainly done a lot of very aggressive moves to try to build a contender, and they haven't made a first round pick in 5 years. There's a lot more you can do with the first round pick sometimes in a trade than, you know, just sticking and picking at 24. You're not always getting an impact player. You might get a starter, but you want guys that move the needle, and that's the goal of this offseason. Who can move the needle for this 10-6 playoff team? So welcome to the offseason, everybody. We're going to dive into it now, and we have a lot of cap space. We have $100 million in space at the moment. Rookie quarterback contract, of course, a major help. Nobody making over $20 million. Now, Justin Johnson is a free agent. I think we easily have the space to bring him back. Carr's been signed. If you want to look ahead to the contracts you have to think about for next year, that becomes Josh Richards. I think he's easily one of the best trade options we have on the team, because there's not really a high likelihood of him coming back. Isaiah Fletcher, last year of his deal. Robert Penn, last year of his deal at running back. Joe Jackson, Pearson, Grubbs, Ferris, Lynn Cox, Leslie Goods in the last year of his deal now, Jermaine Candidate. But I think we have plenty of cap space to do what we have to do this offseason. I'd love to see, big name free agent linemen, but if that doesn't work out, then trading is going to be the way to go. If I had to choose teams for a Madden 22 franchise and rebuild right now, post-draft, who would they be? Also, Cardinals got a steal with Rondale Moore. Boiler up. Excited to see what they do with him. I was listening to a podcast the other day that talked about Larry Fitzgerald being their primary screen receiver and how inefficient that is. And hopefully, you see Rondale Moore get some of those targets. And I think he'll offer a lot more than they've gotten from Andy Isabella. The real question to me is how much of Christian Kirk's workload does he end up taking? Spent the second round pick on the guy. But for right now, I think the Lions are interesting. The Bears with Justin Fields if you're using updated rosters. The Panthers are a really cool franchise team right now. If I hadn't done a franchise with them, they'd be one of my favorite options to use this coming year. I also think the Cardinals are really solid, while you got Kyler on the rookie deal for a little bit longer. This makes my day so much better. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. And hello from Japan. Here it's 2:45. Well, good morning, good evening. Appreciate you being here. I want to make sure you stay up long enough to see some things happen in the offseason. So let's get to it here. We got some upgrades. I always spend all these points before we get to re-signing or anything. So a couple points here for Shadon Roseman after his Rookie of the Year award. Not a Pro Bowler, but solid rookie campaign. I think here we are going to put a point into Improviser. Again, the throw under pressure was a concern. Hopefully we can make it less of a concern just by giving him more time in the pocket. And then I'm going to put a point here into Field General, hoping for some deep accuracy. And, oh, 3 of it. That's certainly going to help. That's a really nice upgrade. Robert Penn entering the last year of his contract. Do you think we have what it takes to keep him long term? And is it smart, as he's going to be in his late 20s? Running back could be a sneaky need for us, unless you think Gillislee's a starter, and we've already talked about this 1,000 times, but running backs are like long-term developers in Madden. This isn't real life where you go and get James Robinson. He rushes for like, what was it, like 1,100, 1,200 yards or something? You don't do that in Madden unless you're actually playing the games. But the way we run things here in this series, you got to get some guys that can actually produce early on that are higher rated. And sometimes that means you add a veteran. Sometimes that means you wait 4 years for a guy. How about Joe Rogers here? Remember last preseason we were streaming with him and couldn't catch the ball, but got a few upgrades over the course of the season. So who knows? Year 2 for Joe Rogers could be a little bit better. Thankfully, we don't have to decide anything about Robert Penn today, but it might not be a bad idea to bring in a running back. I like Gillislee, but again, I think legitimately in this game, it takes 3 to 5 years to develop a running back, which is a dynamic that it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't sound right, but that's how Madden is. If you don't have an 80 overall guy, I mean, he's a 3 to 5 year project. Hi Kane, what team upgraded the most with their draft class in 2021? Also, how are you doing today? I'm doing pretty well, Robert, thank you. What team do I think upgraded the most, though? I think the Bears dramatically increased their ceiling over the next few years just by going and adding Justin Fields and Tevin Jenkins. So, while it wasn't a lot of moves, there were really high impact moves. I also like a lot of what the Chargers have done solidifying the offensive line. They get Asante Samuel on the second day, so they're going to reel me back in. How often have we hyped up the Chargers and been heartbroken? This time's different, right? I sure think it could be. I feel like we should trade away some wide receivers and upgrade the position. Love from Singapore. Trading a receiver, I think you could consider it, just because we have 3 guys that I would consider to be starting caliber. So, I mean, you have candidates who's entering the last year of his contract, and maybe you have to end up picking, okay, who are the 2 we build around? And if I had to pick, I'm probably going Ingram Jones. I disagree. Undrafted halfbacks do great for me a lot, but are you simulating and playing the game the way I do? Because, I mean, I've tried for 4 years to make it work. And I'm just now realizing what I think to be the answer. If you don't go with young O-line, you will go 8-8, and we don't want that to happen again. Does Julio get traded and Rodgers? Also, where do they go? I don't think Julio's going to get traded before the season starts. I think that them getting Kyle Pitts said that they want to try to get one more playoff run out of this core. I just don't think that you trade Julio because, I mean, you passed on a chance to take a quarterback if you think that you're going to get rid of Julio and start to retool the team. I mean, Matt Ryan's played for a long time. So, I mean, if Rodgers gets traded, I see Denver as a possibility. I think they have the most to give back to Green Bay. And I'm not sure if either's actually going to be traded. No true number one receiver yet, really. I think that's about right. I wouldn't say we have anybody that's, you know, top 15 caliber. We have a lot of guys who are high-end number 2 caliber. So, wide receiver is something we can't totally write off either. So, Justin Johnson, we could bring him back. There's Marquise Brown, and I don't want to lose him. I think he's our best defensive back. There's also David Perkins. So, okay, we're going to start here. By the way, is it better for me on the left side here? I think it's usually because the contract will pop up lower left, right? All right, so for free agency, it's better my camera's on the right-hand side. Love the series, Kane. Bullard's got to go. Probably need an upgrade at guard, too, and see if a future replacement at running back can be found in the draft. I think we see things similarly here, Zach. I agree on all points. So, you know how I am here. I like to go with the easy decisions first. David Perkins, 3 years, $12 million. He played really well a year ago. And I don't think that Childs, who we drafted a year ago, is really going to be an answer there. While Perkins is a little bit older, I think he plays just solid coverage here at free safety. We can kind of forget about it with him out there. So we boost this up a little bit, and Perkins will sign a 3-year extension. And now, you'll never, in my series, one thing I rarely do is sign contracts and end up, like, trying to get out of them early. But I think with, like, the signing bonuses for a lot of these deals, I can sign a guy for 3 years and cut him later and play the risk-reward a little bit differently because there's less risk. And I'm treating it like there's significantly more than there is. Let's see. I thought Jake Bailey was pretty solid. I wouldn't mind him returning. And he will come back. Gordon Norwood's pretty solid. What I think I'm going to do with Norwood, I just said I was going to sign deals and then consider cutting guys, but I do think I can get him on a 1 or 2 year deal, being that he's lower than an 80 overall. I don't expect his free agent market to be super hot. Kane, I fully believe this team needs a huge play corner. Trading your first round pick should be on the table. It is on the table, but I think that O-line is probably a greater priority for me, but I agree. Like, I think you're looking at the way we play, and it's like, you could use another corner. Fletcher, you know, maybe played his best football earlier in his career, and maybe he's just the number 2. Marquise Brown, testing free agency. Or we tag him for 19. That's probably not going to happen. All right, Justin Johnson. I think this deal is reasonable. We can always trade him like last year, the contract too. But I need to increase this and get him to accept it. So it's a lot of money here. It's something that we can only do because we have like a rookie quarterback contract. So Justin Johnson's coming back. Appreciate the super chats, everybody. Doing my best to keep caught up while moving the off season along, so at times I will take a break from reading them if they build up. I've been watching you for years now, and this is my favorite series that you've done so far. Why don't you put this series on your main channel? I've just been treating my channels a little bit differently. Like, I know it's my second channel, but I don't think like that means it's like lesser. I mean, it gets good views over here, and I just do different things across the channels. And this is just the format is how I've made content here for the last 5 years or so. So that's why it's here. And I'm trying to, you know, build the channels around different types of content. content, not contact. Let's go. Offseason. Chiefs at least back to the AFC Championship game. Maybe in real life and in the series. Appreciate that. And Arthur, thank you. How do you think the Vikings will do with developing Justin Jefferson after a great first year? As a Charger fan, both Herbert and Jefferson deserve Rookie of the Year. If there were ever a year for co-Rookie of the Year, I think that was it. But, I think that Jefferson's definitely going to be somebody that's in that, with another solid year, is probably in that top 10 receiver conversation. I mean, he's just so complete. I mean, they drafted him and the hope was he'd be a solid slot, and then, he's winning on the outside and making all these incredible catches. He can't really poke a whole lot of holes in his game. So I think the Vikings are fine there, but they've got to make sure the offensive line is legit better so that Kirk can actually play at his ceiling more often. Because, we've seen some pretty good play, in all honesty, from Kirk Cousins over the past few years. It's just all about how much is he actually spending at that level. And, the season's too short for 5 weeks of horrible play. You got to cut back on some of those bad games. We're going to see kickers in free agency. But I'm definitely open to bringing back Blankenship. We're going to test the market here for Norwood. Try to bring him back on a 1 or 2 year. Bullard. Man. Bullard and McMullen. Do we go to free agency and see what else we can do? We're trying to bring in upgrades regardless. I think that's what we're going to do here. It's risky. It's super risky. But I'm kind of shooting for the moon right now. And, replacing 2 starters, I think that we could figure it out. I mean, we have Good entering the last year of his deal, then Wallace. We got to see what else we can do here. And I can always try to bring one back later. Ever thought about trading a lineman you don't want anymore for a cornerback? I have to have too many linemen, and I have the opposite problem here. So I just don't think I have the flexibility to do that. Gotta re-sign McMullen? Would you rather have Najee Harris or Travis Etienne to bank on for running back of the future in real life? I think it honestly depends on the style of team. For the Urban Meyer style offense, definitely Travis Etienne. For, a more of a downhill north-south power running game, then it's definitely Harris. I actually do think that Etienne might have the higher ceiling, because I think that there's a lot of similarities in his game with Dalvin Cook. I like Harris a lot as well. But I'm a sucker for big play upside, so I love Travis Etienne, and I've been waiting for him to come to the NFL for 3 years. I can play a little challenge with you. I'll play a Madden 20 Sim Texans, make every IRL trade, and pick up a UDFA at halfback and end the season. All right, come back and tell me how it goes. Because I mean, it happened with Ellis Norton. But, I mean, that's outlier. We don't chase outliers. Alright, so we definitely have a lot of work to do for this offensive line, and we should still have the cap space to attack it. 81 million. Norwood deserves to be back to enjoy Texans success. Also, remember to put Ferris back in a starting edge and Johnson back at D tackle. Yeah, I was actually curious because I saw people talking about that. It was the highest upvoted comment. How much did Ferris play in that final stretch? I know he had a critical penalty at the end, but he was kind of a part-time player there. Still, I think the interceptions cost us that, and that, having him play more snaps, I don't think would have been the difference. So he played a third of the snaps, which is Too little. What was your thoughts on the Kellen Mond pick? I was really happy. Like, I was live when they made the pick, and I was saying I wanted Kellen Mond. So, as I said earlier, I think he has the upside, and they only had to spend a third-round pick. I mean, he's going to be a legit backup potential starter. He had a lot of experience in college. Big arm, mobile. MVP of the Senior Bowl for what it's worth, but so was Christian Ponder. All right, free agency, everybody. Who's going after Josh Jacobs? I don't think we are. I love these free agent classes now in this series. This is so much better. DeForest Buckner, Tyreek Hill, Vita Vea. A lot of these guys are like 33, so you know, you gotta decide if that's the right move for you. But if we want offensive linemen, Cam Robinson, Brendan McMullen, Garrett Bradbury, Ezra Cleveland, Robert Bullard. So, big name offensive lineman not available. Everybody wants Tyreek right now. Jermaine Candidate is just like totally forgotten right now. The chat doesn't even remember who that is. A lot of people want Austin Hooper. All right, 2-year offer there for Gordon Norwood. I'd love to bring him back. So let's go back to the offensive lineman. Wagner? You talking about the receiver? George Wagner at 29, a 91 overall. He's got candidates like exact skill set. Yo, Kane, longtime fan. Vikings Madden 12. Loving the content recently. What's your personal favorite game to play to bring us the series? Honestly, right now, it's this. Like, the Texans franchise, if I have to pick something to sit down that I want to play, that I'm going to enjoy, like, this is number one for me right now. I mean, I love the format. I love being able to sit back and watch the games play out. It's a cleaner game of football than user versus CPU. And I'm more of a strategy guy anyway, so I like to just, you know, make the moves and watch it all play out. So it's honestly this series. That's why I've done so much of it. Now, a lot of people liked, you know, Tyreek Hill, George Wagner. What about one of these top corners, though? We just got done talking about having to make moves here, and it won't be long term. But I mean, Jalen Ramsey, Tre'Davious White, Marshawn Lattimore are all available. Now, first and foremost, I want to bring back Marquise Brown. So, there's a 1-year offer. But I could also give one to Lattimore, or Ramsey, or Trey White. Blankenship's still the best kicker available. All right, I'll make a 1-year offer then. So let's go back to the tackles here, because we know about Robert Bullard. He struggled a lot on that right side this year. Pass block finesse an 89, pass block power a 91. Why I never wanted to play him at guard was like 85 strength, 84 run block. That's just okay. But, I mean, he is rated like a top 10 tackle. It's not a great spot here in our league right now. But what about Forrest Jackson? Is Forrest Jackson maybe a better fit? Same overall, more strength, but lower run block, lower pass block power. I'm not sure he'd be an upgrade. Ezra Cleveland, 90 strength, very low pass block power. It's tough. Why don't we go to the trade center here? Why don't we start to see if we can make a trade? You have money, 1-year deal to Ramsey and Tyreek. I gotta go with my priority here, and that's going to be offensive line first, and then see what's left over. Appreciate the super chat, though. Now, I'm not expecting there to be like great options here on the trade block, but there have been some better ones in this series. Like, there's actual 80 overalls on the block, which is really intriguing. But okay. Why don't we go here first? 1 year overpriced for Ramsey works. You got to re-sign McMullen or Bullard. Trading for one good old lineman still leaves too many holes. Yeah, it seems like we have to bring one back and then maybe make one trade. So here are the top linemen in our league. And the Jets were a team that I wrote down here as one of the, weaker teams. Ronnie Stanley, Ravens are pretty solid. The Browns had a losing season. The Giants had a winning season. So we could potentially trade for like Mekhi Becton, but a 99 superstar, 29-year-old tackle I don't think would be super easy. Entering last year of his contract. I think that trade actually makes a lot of sense for the Jets. At guard, I mean, obviously we're not trading with Quentin Nelson. The best teams, or the worst teams, don't have many of the best linemen, is what I'm finding here. So, maybe some correlation between O-line and some wins here. Because the Falcons were the worst team, okay? Falcons were the worst team last year. And that's their O-line. Couple decent options. Chargers also weren't that good. Derek Gilbert, David Edwards. I mean, you're not making any moves for these linemen. Mekhi Becton, though, definitely has everything we're looking for as a true tackle. So I think I'd like to try making a trade for Mekhi Becton. Now, what is it going to take? I'm just experimenting here. I know I'm going to have to probably get some players in here. What if I traded away Isaiah Fletcher as part of this deal? Lynn Cox takes over his role, bring in a corner, maybe get Marquise Brown back. Do they like Isaiah Fletcher? Not a ton. They want defensive tackles, right tackles, and corner. Are we about to repeat history here? The Texans making that massive trade for Laramie Tunsil. I think the first round pick has to be in there. And yeah, Josh Richards was somebody that I really thought, should be traded. Please say you like him. Please like Josh Richards. They love Josh Richards. I thought. So, like, Josh Richards and a first-round pick gets us somewhere. I mean, this is, like, the best offer I can make right here. And it's not working. We have to trade a better player. And then you got people saying we're deep at defensive tackle. We certainly are, especially if I move Justin Johnson back there. I'm sure they love either Carr or Hillhouse. Oh, man. I can't even, like, fathom trading away Jabari Carr. Maybe Justin Johnson. Man. Come on, Jets. He's got 1 year on his deal. Hillhouse is untouchable. I will not be trading Cordell Hillhouse. If I want to part ways with Justin Johnson, I think I'd be willing to do it. If that's what it took. I know we just got a deal done with him, so, you know, a tag and trade probably makes more sense, but whatever. Trade Carr, he's always injured. Let's see if the rating's actually bad. No, he has the best on the team. Just unlucky. Oh, I think Justin Johnson's the only way we get a deal like this done. Thanks for doing this stream on Sunday. Missed the last one because of work, and this is my favorite series. Try getting Wirfs. The Bucks were pretty good last year, so I try not to trade for players that are on really good teams. I try to do it with teams that aren't very good. And I think this might be the best way to get this to work. Justin Johnson. I don't think that this will work straight up. Look at their backup left tackle. I mean, 80 overall at normal dev, he's just decent. He's not going to change us. He's not going to change a 10-6 team. He's going to help a 3-13 team, like the Jets are. Logically, it makes more sense to trade Carr and move Johnson over to the DT since you just signed him. Cap penalty is a lot. That's a really good point. I did just sign him, therefore we'd be on the hook for some of this money. What happened to the Wildcat offense Madden 21 miniseries? You know, I just ended up forgetting about it after a while. Every now and then I see the file and I'm like, oh yeah. I really intended to do like a couple more videos with it, but I don't know, must have gotten sidetracked and then forgot about it, and then I'm like, oh, it's been a while. Is it worth it to go back to? And maybe I will, because I like streaming. So it's possible I still get that file and mess around in a live stream with it. Appreciate the super chat. Yeah, there's going to be a big penalty if we trade him. Both 27. Man. And I'm not trading Cordell Hillhouse. I like Johnson because I can play him literally anywhere. He has so much versatility and upside. Maybe Jabari Carr is the guy that needs to be traded. Or Ferris because his deal's coming to an end. What's your favorite offense and defensive playbook, and what's your favorite offense and defensive schemes? I don't really have a favorite playbook, honestly. Like, I just kind of roll with whatever playbook and then customize it because they usually aren't exactly what I'm looking for anyway. For scheme, well, here's what I'm running. Vertical power run. I mean, this is how I tend to build my offenses. Fast receivers, strong interior linemen, pass protecting tackles, and then 4-3 under gives me the archetypes that I prioritize on defense. And then I've just been running the base 4-3 playbook, like nothing special there at all. They're not gonna let me select it from here. Which one did I have selected here? I can't even remember because I don't use it anyway. Maybe it was Cincinnati's. But yeah, I haven't really spent a lot of time going through playbooks and stuff. Trade negotiator upgrade with Coach XP? I think I may have that. Yeah, I have trade negotiator. For free agency influence, I mean, I almost have all of those too. The re-sign influence would have probably been more useful to use. But we're past that point now, so I'll just remember this for next year. To buy the re-sign packages. But yeah, now that I think about it, it might make the most sense to trade Jabari Carr, as, you know, ridiculous as that sounds to do, as good as he is, coming off an 18-sack season. Oh, man. Move Beverly inside and trade. If Jets run 3-4, move Richardson. Yeah, if they run 3-4 still, then he would need to play that role for sure. Let me check their scheme, because I like to trade Richardson. We're not playing him. Hey Kane, huge fan of the series. I've been watching since the Jaguars season. I love watching Dante Fowler. Yeah, he really panned out for us really nicely. Appreciate that. No one wants me to trade Carr, and I think that's reasonable. What about Ferris? Because then we could just play JJ at end. They might not want him as much, but he's a free agent after this year. You know we're going to sign Hillhouse. We've already signed Beverly and Carr. Ferris might make the most sense then. How good's that Jets pass rush? I mean, we're getting, if we make a trade, we're getting a 99 overall player. We can't give up nothing. Do you like Ferris? Why you gotta be like that, Jets? Come on. Why do they like Richards? They have high interest, but not Ferris. Like, I don't get that. You don't want the better player? 26 years old. 26 years old. Maybe we can find another tackle. We got to make something work, though. They were loaded at a couple D-line spots, but they had basically two really good D tackles, a good D end, and then an average D end. We saw this defense without Ferris, and it wasn't good. Keeping 5 linemen is ridiculous. And y'all are going to make me do it, aren't you? Keeping 5 linemen forever. I mean, this is like the backbone of the team, so I get it. Totally get it. Alright, let's try another option. Jedrick Wills is a 95. Hard truth, this car has to go. Too many D linemen. Hard decisions here. Appreciate the super chat, Gio, but this is really difficult. We're not trading with the Titans, obviously. The teams that have good linemen are good. Whoa. These ratings are terrifying. Pass block power at 55, but pass block finesse at 95. Wow. So depending on the matchup, he's elite. If he's going against, you know, some 240-pound speed rusher, he's elite. If he's going up against anybody with some power, he's a practice squad player. Man. We can try Jedrick Wills. But they want more linemen. Do you like any of these players? So a first round pick here, and Josh Richards gets us where for Jedrick Wills. Ooh, this might end up working. We just have to make this a little bit more enticing for them. But pass block finesse is a weakness. I still think it has to be worth it. Can we add a pick to this and make it work? We still have a couple seconds. Jedrick Wills. Obviously, I'm going to try the 4s and then go up. What am I doing wrong? I can't add anything to the trade. Let me back out. So if we offer Richards a 1 and a 4, where does that get us? Almost. I think this is like what we have to do. We just have to. Maybe I can get a pick back here because that second round carries a lot of value. Wills isn't a pass blocker, and look at his contract. I did look at his contract. It's 1 year. So I'll just re-sign him. Easy. Only 1 Pro Bowler. And I think his pass blocking is going to be fine. That 1 is a little bit low, but if I want to make an impact here, it's like my only option. His pass block power is fine. I know his pass blocking is lower, pass block finesse. I mean, I would rather have Becton, of course. But I don't think it's going to work. If I were to put out the same offer, Josh Richards, a 1 and a 4. We're not even close. The only other thing I never tried is like Jermaine Candidate here, and they don't even like him that much. Oh man. try Fletcher. I don't think they have enough interest in him. Yeah, it's really not that much. They like candidate more. And I don't think they'll value the future one enough. Ooh. So that's making it to about the M in make. Could someone tell me? Because they're projecting our 2029 first to be more valuable than this one. The Jets would be banking on us going back to 8-8. That's why. This pick is locked in at 23. This one's considered 14. They're betting on us being trash. We have 2 seconds this year. Okay. What's a 1 and a 2 do for you? Future 1, a 2, and then a player. Still keep the current 1. Are we about to make a deal? Oh, we're almost there. Where's our other second rounder? 48. Come on. Enough value in those 7 picks, right? Come on, Jets. Oh boy. I could put in candidates. I mean, we have Jones and Ingram. Candidate's going to be entering last year of his deal. He is coming off a 1,000-yard campaign. I wonder if we put in candidates. Whoops, I backed out of that. My bad. I'll fix that. I wonder if we put in candidates if we could get a little more than Becton. Wow, they're already deep at receiver, but they have no, or they have 2 good starters and no depth. I could potentially do both first-round picks, but it's so close that I don't think it's totally necessary. So if we give up Jermaine Candidate, or what if I put in Fletcher? Let me try Fletcher. I don't think it'll be enough, but I'm going to try it. So close. I think it has to be somebody like Candidate. And then would they be willing to give us back like a 4? Future second will have value, but it's a future 46 projected. Or do we try to keep candidates? Future 1, 2, and Richards will get it done? I don't think it will. I don't think so. But I'll try it. Richards and the future 1 and 2. Not quite. Because that second rounder is just, it's way too close to this. Basically equivalent value. I wish I could just add another pick in there. Like, just let me throw in a 5th round pick and it gets the deal done. Fletcher, Richards, and future first. I don't think they like that. Can't remember if I tried that already. Yeah, less value. Trade the 2nd and 3rd to get a higher pick. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Both seconds this year. That is an interesting idea too. A future 2, a current 2, and 3. Almost got it done. You can find candidate value elsewhere. You can't find Becton value easily. That's absolutely correct. So if we have a future 1 and candidate, it doesn't take a whole lot more. I'll give you another 4 this year. This is for Becton entering the last year of his contract, too. What? What do you mean? The bar is full. The deal is done. We bring Mekhi Becton to Houston. Finally. That trade took forever. I think there are real NFL trades that don't take that much time. Future 1, Jermaine candidate, and a 4th round pick. We bring in Mekhi Becton, who has 1 year left on his deal. The Jets are working on a rebuild. And now we get a brand new tackle. And it does make wide receiver a bit of a need. We still get to keep our 1st round pick too. So Becton or good on the right side. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. We can figure it all out later on. There you go, Mekhi Becton. We had to make a very aggressive move there. And we didn't have to give up any of the great D linemen. We still have Fletcher. We still have Richards. And I want to trade them. Well, at least Richards I do. So, what if we put, you know, start seeing what teams think about Josh Richards here. Right off the bat, the Bears like him. I wonder what we could get. The Bills like him. Preferably NFC. Well, actually, I won't be too picky. I'm not getting a superstar receiver for him. No way. That's why I kind of want someone to offer to me. The move doesn't have to happen right here. We're still free agency stage 1. Like, we're moving so slowly today. I love it, though. Here's the roster now at wide receiver. Amari Jones, George Ingram, and one of my favorite players here, Terrence Pearson. Sign Jedrick for right, have the best tackles in the league. I don't think that's super necessary. We have good at left tackle, so we just made a significant upgrade. We go find a decent guard and let it ride. So, you know, do we end up having to go for a higher caliber receiver? Still have cap space. I mean, Tyreek Hill becomes a possibility, I think, now. Back to free agency. Remember, that's still going on. I've already put out some offers for Marquise Brown to try to bring him back, Rodrigo Blankenship, and Gordon Norwood. And then, you know, the guard situation is one we have to take care of as well. McMullen has been inconsistent. We could bring him back because he is the highest rated guard available. Matt Hennessy, he's got some weaknesses. Ezra Cleveland. He's got a couple weaknesses there. Power is going to be an issue for him. Cody Ford is a little bit more balanced rating-wise, but he's just okay. And, you know, Bullard's ratings look the best. We could try him at guard. I mean, we know at tackle he just gets beat too often. I wrote off Bullard at guard. 1 year deals for McMullen, trade Fletcher, and then deals for Hill and Ramsey. Possibly. Possibly. I mean, I'm okay with like a 1 year try it out at guard for Bullard. It's got to be enough to where he'd take it. Like 67 isn't getting that done on the first round. And I think he partially wants this money because he's listed at tackle. Re-sign Bullard and McMullen, move Bullard to right guard. They could potentially both play guard, yes. I'm also thinking a lot about, you know, at corner. So Ramsey's speed has come down a little bit. Tre'Davious White is still a 92 with 99 press. And Marshawn Lattimore, 92 with 87 press. Better in man than zone, though. Like, Trey White's got 91 zone. 96 for Ramsey. I think I like Tre'Davious White more than Jalen Ramsey. Now we're starting to get to like our limit with cap space. We're not there, but we are approaching. And let me make sure, I think I have those packages purchased already for the coach. Yeah. We'd basically have enough room to sign everybody here and then like McMullen returning or something. Nice job with the Becton trade. Re-sign McMullen. Look to trade Richards, Fletcher for another impact guard. Yeah, that's another option too. Like, we could still make a second trade. You could. Tyreek Hill. I don't see us putting out a good enough offer. If he wants a 2-year and he already has 11 teams interested, that's super unlikely. It's way more likely that I put out like a 1 year on Wagner or Macklin and that ends up working. Macklin's got 98 speed. So if you still want that deep threat, I mean, they're going to be there. There's also Calvin Johnson, who's got some really intriguing ratings here and might go a little bit more overlooked. I actually think that Calvin Johnson's really interesting. 92 speed, 89 acceleration is okay. It's solid. Wagner, 95, 96. And then you got Devin Macklin, the Clemson burner here, 98, 95. Really intrigued here with Calvin Johnson. But Macklin does have that speed. wanted to try either here. I don't think it cost a ton of money. You know you want to check out Cooper's ratings. I do, but he's 34, so I just don't think it's going to work. Yeah, Amari's pretty good. How many series have I tried to bring in Amari Cooper? So, do we try an offer here for Macklin or Johnson? Johnson's younger. Macklin has star dev. No real short route running there. But, yeah, he's got unbelievable speed. Calvin Johnson, 25 years old. More well-rounded. Macklin's speed, though, is special. 98 speed, 95 acceleration. Macklin is the one. I am leaning Macklin just barely here. I'm not trying to make like a very long-term offer. I'm okay trying this out for a year. This deep threat role, you know, you never know what you're going to get out of it. Or even a 2-year offer to make it more likely to be accepted. No one's had an offer in for McMullen yet, so I think I want to sim and see how all of this unfolds. I do like the big play upside, Logan. You're right. Big play upside. I'm chasing that a lot. One second, just checking on the baseball games a little bit here. I gotta check the Toronto Blue Jays lineup quick. Okay, we're good, we're good. Well, they're playing, so it doesn't matter anyway. We're good there. Fantasy baseball purposes. I had to know if Biggio and Grichuk were in the lineup today. All right, we have spent a lot of time here in free agency. It's been exciting. And now, will there be some new Houston Texans? Accepted. Blankenship's back. Norwood is back. Marquise Brown is back. So all those guys return. Tre'Davious White's coming with. No other contracts are done though. So Marquise Brown, Tre'Davious White. Now we look to trade Fletcher. Now it's like for sure I want to trade Fletcher. Now that those two are back. Or now that we got those two. Lynn Cox gets the upgrade. Fletcher on his way out. Along with Richards. But we don't have Bullard back yet. I think that could mean that more teams are interested. The receivers could also be much more competitive now. And we got the draft stuff to look at too. So, I mean, we still have our first round pick for now. Now everybody wants Tyler Boyd. Here are the signings, the big ones. Oh, we get to deal with Josh Jacobs now. So less carries for Glenn Barkley, I hope. Bad news for Marlon Mack. Also bad news for us. Buckner's gone. Oh, yes, Buckner to Tampa. That's unbelievable. Tyreek. Why? Vita Vea to the Broncos. Ramsey going to Tampa. Tom Brady's recruiting everybody. Now Savage to the Saints. Bring in both Macklin and Calvin for Pearson's role. I think I'd rather bring in a... Well, actually, the rookie class isn't that good this year. I don't see me doing both. I think you have to have some room there for cheap guys to potentially break out. If I just pay everybody, then it's like, why even make late picks in the draft? That's how I look at it. I need to make sure there's a chance for young guys to possibly develop. No, Brady's not on the Bucks, but in this series, 2 big moves made by Tampa. They're a good team, though. All right, so we're still winning for Macklin. And now Robert Bullard's got 4 teams interested. Great. How come no one wants James Golden? Jermaine Candidate was a part of a trade that allowed us to get 99 overall Mekhi Becton. It was Candidate, a future first round pick, and what was the other pick? Like a 4? And Cashew O'Clock. All right. At this point now, let's see if we can make a trade for a guard. Because then maybe I don't go for Bullard. Maybe then I downgrade a little bit. Try to find somebody else. I'll mix up the song. It's been 2 hours of this, or an hour and a half. So if we're still trying to trade with bad teams, Michael Owenhu is an option. 350-pound guard. I'm not against that move. 2 years of salary. Wyatt Teller's here. The Browns did not make the playoffs a year ago. Teller's on the last year of his contract. That's pretty good. Chris Lindstrom could also be an option. Maybe not. Yeah, I mean, we're not always going to have the ability here to add, like, really good young linemen. And some of these ratings are just so low that I don't want to even consider the players. Yeah, Teller looked pretty good. Oh, the Broncos weren't on my list here. I wrote down like a bunch of teams that had losing records last year. I thought the Browns were actually decent for a while, though. What happened to them? Okay. Is there a possible first-round guard in the draft? That's the problem. Like, even if I'm willing to go all the way up, the draft is so weak. Now, Rashad Walker is certainly worth trying to target, but he's still a late first-rounder. So, and we might need 2 guards. He would have some developmental upside. Yeah, so like a 72 overall. And that's okay for one spot, but we're potentially trying to upgrade both guard spots. We don't gotta worry about Buckner anymore. He's in Tampa. He left. Which is unbelievable news. Trying to find some backup edge guys to scout because, you know, we can't sign everybody, and Ferris might be one of those guys that ends up going somewhere else. Which would give us actually some value in keeping Josh Richards, honestly. There's more value in keeping Richards than there is in keeping Fletcher right now. Thoughts on the Panthers this year? You know, it's going to start and finish with whatever they can get out of Sam Darnold, honestly. I really think they're doing a good job rebuilding a team. I thought they made some good picks last year on defense. The offense has a good coordinator, a good scheme, and some good playmakers. But it's going to be all about if Darnold gives them a boost from Teddy. And, you know, I think that there's a lot more upside because Teddy is not going to have, you know, big numbers or throw the ball down the field a ton. But with Darnold, you're hoping that you're not getting just like more turnovers, more errant passes. But I'm excited to see how they are this year because if Darnold plays, you know, just plays better than he has in New York and cleans up some of the issues, like, that's a legit, you know, team in the South that could be in the wild card mix. I think they're a super fun franchise team for next year. One of my hopes here in this draft, say we like take a lineman in the first round, trade up those 2s and catch a falling corner. That'd be really nice because this class is deep. Also very deep at running back. 7'5". 5th round talent? Really? Mount Union, though. That's a D3 powerhouse. Pierre Garcon went to Mount Union. The Purple Raiders, I believe, is their team name. Still got it. I try to do my best at keeping the community part of it. Like, I enjoy having all of you try to influence me during the off seasons and everything. There are times where I gotta look away from chat and just do whatever I think is right. But, I like the dynamic a lot. Been watching the content for years, Kane. Keep up the good work. Doing my best, Connor. Thank you very much. You don't need a running back. It's called planning for the future, okay? Are you planning for your future? Are your assets well allocated? Do you have a running back for 2028, 2029? Let me do my thing. Snacking on cashews. See, Kyle Shanahan likes running backs, but he has a healthy relationship with acquiring them. They're not first-round picks, you know? Couple cheap free agent signings. You know, McKinnon was more expensive, and he suffered a bunch of injuries there. You know, Mostert was, like, undrafted. You know, they hardly invested in those guys. You know, Jeff Wilson. Like, Trey Sermon is them being aggressive. And, you know, that front office there, when it comes to running back, any running back they could have signed here, any running back they could have drafted, I'm automatically interested in, because their track record is so strong at finding running backs for that scheme. It's a very friendly running back scheme, but they find guys who get big plays, and you don't just get that by accident. So they know what they're doing when it comes to running back. And I think that Trey Sermon is actually a different type of back than they've usually added. You know, he's not like McKinnon or Mostert or these other speed guys. Like, Sermon's going to be more north-south. Really interested in how he plays this year. Somebody just randomly said Buffalo Wings in the chat like 20 minutes ago. That's been on my mind. We didn't say anything else, just Buffalo Wings. Just a random comment. Do I think Trey Lance will be good? I think landing spot determines a lot of that when you're talking about quarterback. And if he's going to succeed, he couldn't have landed in a better spot. Honestly, I think that scheme is perfect for him. I think Kyle Shanahan's perfect for him. Kane, boneless or bone-in wings? I will say that I think the best wings I've eaten are bone-in, traditional, normal wings. But I also think the worst wings I've ever had are traditional wings. Boneless wings, you're pretty much always going to be, you know, it's like taking the best guard at like 25th in the draft. Like, you just hit a double. You're not going to have the best meal, but it's going to be fine. Sometimes it's worth the effort, sometimes it's not. Sometimes I just want to kick back and eat with a fork, you know? There is some value in that. So, who wants Isaiah Fletcher? Trade menu gets kind of bugged here. Guys, the league does not like Fletcher that much. Jeez. There ain't a single team with green interest for a 83 overall corner? That's kind of surprising. What? That works straight up? I wasn't counting on that. I almost feel like I gotta give them a gift basket or something. Whoa. Isaiah Fletcher, who is younger, I guess. He is older. He might retire after this year. I mean, that's a good point. All right. I mean, Fletcher's younger. He's a starting caliber corner. I looked at his stats a while ago. We looked at Teller's stats, must have been 15, 20 minutes ago. They're pretty solid. And I like run blockers for the interior. So there you go. This way, I don't feel like we are forced to sign an overpriced free agent because Becton and Good are the tackles, Wallace, Teller, and then figure it out. If we have to play Ben Williamson, we'll play Ben Williamson. You don't play 5 like high quality starters. No one does that. You'll either have like 2 to 4. You can hide a weaker guard. So that's pretty cool. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pull an offer for Bullard. That leaves us now with $19 million in cap space in what has been the longest free agent period of my life. Devin Macklin still has an offer here. I'll increase it a little bit. There you go. A couple $100,000 more. Get yourself a nice car. I would take that late first talent at guard now to develop him to replace Williamson. I like that, Mark. I like that. And that guard, by the way, like, he might be late first talent, but athletically, really high upside, and he's 21. Like, if anyone's going to have a chance at star dev, it's probably a guy like him. No, we're not signing Tyler Boyd. Although he's more than a slot. I'm letting everybody else fight over him. I like our receivers. I like our situation there. We're not signing Deron Payne. We have too many linemen, and you wouldn't let me trade one earlier. You talked me out of it, which is probably the right move. I could also just become the guy that signs free agent running backs instead of drafting them just because they're better. Now, another spot we could try to bring somebody in is linebacker. It is one of the weaker positions on the roster. I would prefer somebody who still has a little bit of time to get better. Darren Jordan, though, like, these are starting caliber skills, really. I'm putting in a little placeholder offer here. Like, $4 million? That's it? He could be a third linebacker? I don't even care if he backs up for that salary. Like, I'll go through some other players, but might have found a super solid, easy signing here. Just who else is there? Sherrod Fitzgerald, 25 years old. Someone said check out Fitzgerald. Not a great cover linebacker. Really good run stopper. But I'm looking for somebody who has a little more coverage upside. Britton Stuckey. He's pretty good too. 88 speed, 77 zone. 88 speed, 77 zone. Why are their ratings like the same? '83 block shed, 86 tackle. We're gonna go with Jordan. Go to 3-4? I don't want to do that. I want to play 4 linemen because I have 5. I'm not putting JJ at defensive, like outside linebacker. I mean, he could probably do it. Trying to get rid of Joe Jackson or something? You know, I think we're pretty much done here for free agency. I am very happy with what we've done. I don't think there's more to do. Trying to bring in Macklin here with that blazing speed, and then let's get ready for the draft. Trying to get rid of Reiner. All right. Say hello to the new Blazer on the outside, Devin Macklin, replacing Jermaine Candidate. He's coming off an 1,100-yard season, 522 after the catch. Let's go. Here's his game log. Like, I love this. I want to see the longs. 77, 72. Okay. 400-yard games. I just want to see you get down the field and make some plays. And we got to change that number. I mean, you're not selling any uniforms as a deep threat wearing 83. Now, in real life, you're about to see, like, receivers where, like, number 6. Should we give Macklin a single-digit number? I will let you deliberate on that while I change the song. I think JC Horn's going to wear 8. I don't know all the numbers that have come out, but there's a lot of guys going to wear single digits. Give Macklin turf tape, please. Turf tape. All right. I always give the shooter sleeve. We'll go with some turf tape. Randy Moss wore turf tape, not shooter sleeve. Of course, nobody in that era wore a shooter sleeve. What's up with these sweatbands here? Like, who wears that thick sweatband there on their arm? Like, I can't imagine that even being, like, comfortable. Number 1 for Macklin. Do we like number 1? I don't have any attachment to number 9. Give him 8 to rep 8 and 8. That's a reason to avoid it, not do it. Where's the turf tape at here? Is it like arm sleeve, or where do they keep it? This song? In the YouTube audio library, this one's called Dynamite. Arm sleeve style. Turf tape. Appreciate that. Oh, I like that. We gotta take off those wristbands though. Or the tape. We don't need that. And apparently he's got to deal with Adidas, so we'll just let him roll with that. He's the fast guy. He gets to wear number 1. I'm liking the way the team is coming together today. I mean, we've done exactly what I wanted to. Big move at corner, 2 big moves along the O-line. And what have we sacrificed to get to this point? A 1,000-yard receiver, who we then replaced. A corner, who we upgraded over and already had his replacement developed. Like, I don't think you could draw up a better offseason for us right now. Let me save in case power goes out, although I have 1,000 auto saves here. Fifth-year options. Ooh, we're not picking this one up. It's Josh Richards. You know, I was curious about players who have had their 5th-year option declined and then ended up signing an extension. Garrett Bowles, that was him last year. I think they signed his extension over the summer. But, maybe there's a Bronco fan here who can fill me in a little bit why they didn't pick up the option, because typically that's the route teams go. I know he's older, but I don't know if that has an impact, because he was an older rookie, like 25 when he was drafted. Wasn't he injured? Yeah, I can't remember exactly. I know last year was his breakout. All right, more scouting. I can't believe I still have a 1st-round pick. When did they sign the deal? Was it in season? Now I have to know, when did Garrett Bowles sign his extension? On November. Okay. So it wasn't over the summer then. That makes sense. Because, yeah, that all pieces together logically. Any standout combines here? I see some 6.5s and a 6.6. Joe Sanders. To the board you go. 4.6. 4.49. I like to scout players that I might take with my 7th-round pick. Yeah, tight end's another spot we could consider. 7th rounder. I put them on the board if there's an above 0 chance of me signing them. Or drafting them. A greater than 0% chance. People keep screaming about activating superstar abilities, by the way. Also love your content. Appreciate that. Now, the abilities are on, it's just a visual bug. Like, I never meant to have them off or anything. It just doesn't show up in game for us. Like, it's just a visual. For some reason, it won't show up for the user team. But there's no reason to think they're not active. Can't do a lot else here. That's it. Give Becton Edge Pro. I don't know much about like activating abilities or whatever, but here's what Mekhi Becton has. Nasty Streak. Oh, I can choose one? Weird. Why can I choose those? Huh. Well, he's got it. I'm excited for this draft now. I thought we wouldn't have a first round pick. This offense needs an elite tight end. Yeah, I mean, I would totally be open to one of the top tight ends. If anybody could make a serious difference there. Also, we could use a backup quarterback. But, we'll just wait till the preseason and sign somebody there. That was a very competitive offer. Well, we did not get Darren Jordan, so that was unexpected. Second round talent at kicker. That accuracy. All right, we scouted all the kickers now. Morgan Hill is the best. Because if you have a good rookie, I mean, you save like $3 million compared to having a good free agent kicker. Let's see. Any more value linebackers I can scout? Come on, give me something here to work with. He had a good combine. Well, I'm out of points, basically. Yeah, I can worry about abilities later. I want to get to the draft. Been a long off season already. Will the stream be uploaded directly after? Yeah. It should be up right afterwards. Probably, it might be unlisted, but I wouldn't think it would take too long for it to be public. And we haven't traded Richards yet. We can still do that in the preseason. So, free agency, all that stuff, you know, it took a lot of time, but it was really worth it. We added Tre'Davious White. We got Marquise Brown back. We brought in Mekhi Becton in that big trade. We have Devin Macklin now replacing him, and he's even faster. Like, there's a lot of good things we've done already in this offseason. And now, I just want to see how I lost out on that linebacker. He's a middle linebacker. Where did he go? Yeah, Darren Jordan went to the... Because I was cheap. I didn't want to go with the 2-year deal. Yeah. I kind of wanted Darren Jordan. All right, everybody. Time to begin. 2028 NFL Draft. This should be fun. And now, I forget if it's easier for me to be on the left side of the screen or the right for drafting. But let me know if I need to switch sides here. The Falcons pick number 1. The Atlanta Falcons. And now this class is really, really good at corner. It is very good at running back. Not great at quarterback. It's actually weak at receiver for the first time in the series, I'm pretty sure. It's not strong along the offensive line, but there are a lot of really good defensive players. It's more of a defensive class. It's a good class to draft defense and running back, basically. So with that being said, we might be moving up today, but we're going to have to let this play out a little bit. So let's go, everybody. The draft is here in the Atlanta Falcons. Go with Otis Woodyard, a strong safety, number 1 overall. All right, everyone's saying left side's a little bit better for this, so let me switch this. Then let me flip the camera. All right. That's better. All right, that's the first pick, a safety. Second pick, the 1 first-round receiver the Chargers make sure they get, Tyreek Fowler. 75 and 74 off the bat. And now the Jets, they got to work on replacing Mekhi Becton. They don't need receiver. What do they do here? Ben Beachum. No corners off the board yet. The Patriots go Lance Hudson. The Panthers go Jeff Singh, and the first cornerback has been selected. And by the way, like, our likely first target here is going to be a guard who is projected late first. His talent is late first, and we pick it like 24. So I don't feel like we have to move up for him, but it's all about who does fall. That could make us change our mind. So Quincy Newton, another cornerback, is off the board. Minnesota goes with a right tackle, Eric Reed. Interesting. Trent Howard. Ladarius Knight, a first-round running back, the highest overall player to be taken so far at 78. How about that pick? Daniel Pippen. So a lot of corners already gone. Still 3 first-round talents. That's how deep this class is. Mid-first, mid-first, late first. All right, past the Washington football team. They go Cedric Brown, another cornerback taken. Martin Hawkins, right end from Cal. As far as the board goes, the guard that I like a lot, I think I might have gone past him, is 14th on the board. And I would be okay trading up just to secure the pick. Not giving up a 2 to do it, but potentially a 3, and then using those 2 second-round picks to do something else. Nathan Robinson has been selected. The Packers go with a tight end. Arizona. Antonio Towns. Walker's now 11th on the board. Alright, what would it take here? Depends on the price. I think there's a chance we could stay and get him, but because, like, we can afford to give up draft value to make sure we get the player. We don't need to make sure this class gets us, like, 4 starters or something like that. So, it's all about the price here. If I have to give up the 3, I think I do it. But I think the 4 might get it done. No. Well, what if I give you a 3 and you give me a 5? How about a 6? Come on. How about your 7? No? They do need a guard, so it's like, you know, this might be the spot. There you go. Why trade up for a late first talent? He's the only guard. It kind of inflates value there. He's the only starting caliber guard in the class. And they need a guard. There's a chance that he would go there. And honestly, we don't need anything out of this draft. We could throw all our picks in the trash, go into the season, and probably be in good shape. I just have to find a couple players, really. So we're moving up here for Rashad Walker. It's going to be a reach. But it's a reach on a player who's 22, a super athlete at guard. So, I mean, that's the kind of player I think you reach on. 6 slots. 74 overall guard, 74 agile, 90 strength, 71 awareness. I mean, he's a day 1 starter. He is a day 1 starter. It's going to take a little time to get some of these ratings up, but yeah, I think this is the right kind of move to make in this spot. And, I mean, getting into the second level to help out Robert Penn, the athleticism is pretty helpful there. Yeah, I think he already compares to Williamson, but Williamson took 4 years to get where he's at, obviously. And now, I think we're at the point where you look at packaging up the 2s. Like, we are the kind of team now that I think can afford a 4-player class, for instance. The Seahawks just had a 3-player class. The Rams, I don't think, made a ton of picks either. I think they might have had some day 3 action, but they took like 2 Atwell in the second round. That's kind of confusing to me. But now we package the 2s, potentially the 4 with it. I mean, if we now move up, we can find a corner of the future, potentially. I'd probably be most interested in Larry Moulton. 6'3", 4.4 speed, decent zone coverage. Now, it's not like a necessity, but just to show you where our depth is at. Like, we didn't bring in Tre'Davious White to be a long-term solution. Marquise Brown is back, and now Lynn Cox becomes the 3rd corner. I like the upside with Dante Fry, but I still think a rookie's probably going to have a good chance of beating him out. So, corner's on the table. I think safety's even on the table. Less of a priority to me. A running back that falls, I'm not against. A tight end would be really intriguing. By the way, here are Williamson's ratings, if you want to compare him to the player we just drafted. same strength, and now Williamson has a couple more standout ratings, but how long would it take for the guard we just took to get here? Because it took Williamson 5 years. We like Hairston, but he's not ever going to be like a dominant receiver. Doug Tulloch, 74 overall though. Don't day one Walker, focus train him and sit him for a year. Also see if you can find a corner and long-term project guy at right tackle. These streams are fun. I still think you day one Walker and you focus train him just to get as much dev there as possible. If we have 4 solid guys, playing a guy who isn't all that ready, I think is okay. Unless he's just out there playing horrible. And in that case, I'm going to have to see it first. I do think a cornerback and right tackle project makes sense, though. There was one tackle here, Kenny Gray. These tackle projects don't always work out, but early 4 talent, an A- and a B+ at 21. I mean, that's the kind of project you go after. But there's a lot of value here at corner still. At tight end, it's Delvin Wilkerson, who ran 4.57. That's going to be the fastest in the class. So he's a really good receiving threat. I think he's also potentially an option here. But we're going to sim a few more picks. Let things play out. And at running back, there are still 4 first-round options. Bates is early, but doesn't have blazing speed. Brooks is late and is running 4.57. Matthew Jenkins late with some speed. Trey Newton 4.54, late first talent. I wonder how fast that tight end is. What's a 4.57 translate to? 86, 88? Let's sim a couple picks here. Dalton Randolph. We like defensive ends coming off the board. Defensive tackles. Jamario Conway is taken. Jonathan Schneider. All right, there's Larry Moulton off the board. So now we're left with second round corners. And this isn't like a super need. Oh, I forgot there was a value here. We should probably pay attention to that. Jadarius Oliver. You don't gotta move up for him. You can take him in the second round. I know people are saying Richards trade. I shy away from doing player draft trades because teams value them too much. So he's probably going to be traded later. Man, Tracy Kellum's an early first talent too. Why isn't he on my board? The picks are at 16 and 23 in the second round. So Jadarius Oliver is still someone we could look at taking later. Trey Riddick, Daniel Blue, probably not. The running back doesn't seem super likely here. Dre Tatum, 4.4 speed, early first talent. Potentially you could stay with these second round picks and catch the value in the secondary. He's certainly interesting. We already gave up the 3. Hmm. 4.57 equals what, 85 to 87 speed, and that's plenty at tight end. More than enough. I think I'm really curious about what it takes to trade up, because now I don't really feel like I want to package the 2s, because I know there's going to be a safety and a corner there most likely that we can just pick. So both 2s to get back in the first, I don't like as much. And then I just don't think this gets us back into the first round. So the tight end, Wilkerson, is really intriguing to me, but I don't think I want to give up both 2s to get him. I really like that safety a lot. Ah, there he goes. Wilkerson goes to the 49ers. You might be able to package the 2s here to move up, but again, I don't want to do that. So let's get into the second round then. Really interested in how good that tight end was. Wow, a quarterback in the first round. The Colts have now selected Mitchell Holiday from Louisville. They just brought in Shadon Roseman's backup, who got to start for 1 season. Unbelievable how the storylines just continue. And the quarterback they already have, his name is Mentor. I mean, this is unbelievable. Now, Mentor is probably going to start. He's also from Louisville. Every quarterback went to Louisville. So I think Jameis retired or something. Marcus Cohen. Dwayne Ray. How's the board looking? I think arguably Dre Tatum here is best player available, early first talent, and he's probably going soon because he's projected, you know, third, talents early first. The running backs are falling. It's unbelievable. Really like Dre Tatum. And I think I like him more than Jadarius Oliver. So if I'm thinking about what I'm doing with both of these second round picks, the safety Tatum is one of the 2 I'd target. And then who else do you target? Is it a falling running back? Is it another corner? I think you could consider either option. Can we get a Perry Cummings Road to Glory? You know, I've always wanted to do that, and perhaps I'll find the time this summer to do something small like that, because it wouldn't be a super big series. I'd probably do like a 1-year deal, just to keep it short and sweet. But do I like the running backs enough is one of the questions here. None of these guys have like tremendous size, which I think helps a ton. I think Bates is, you know, probably the best. Jenkins has the speed, but is that enough on its own? I don't know if the running backs are as good as they appear with their first round talents. Trey Riddick. I think I'd have to consider him, not knowing any of his coverage, but B awareness, B block shed. He's got the speed to eventually maybe have some cover ability. But yeah, Dre Tatum's the guy. And I think that you start to think about moving up for him like now. Patriots' top need is a fullback. Okay. Whatever you say. I want to see you take one then. That's it? That's it? That's all it takes? Patriots in a good mood today. Tatum equals Akinjide. Oh, you think he's that good? Well, in that case, we better make the pick. Dre Tatum is going to be the pick here. He's a run support safety that runs 4.4. I mean, come on. Hidden development. Out of Washington State. Did he just take Tevin Tyson's number? He just rip his number away? I think he's got do-it-all ability. Easily. That's a big W there, and I can't believe it took a 5 to move up there. That's it? I thought it would take the 4, potentially a 4 and a 5. So we love that. Rush, 233 attempts, 578 yards, 3 touchdowns, 40 receptions, 417 yards, 2 touchdowns. As a receiving back and getting hurt week 15, I'd say he wasn't bad. Just needed like 100 more yards. My issue there is just the average, the yard per carry. Like, you really need to get to 4 in this game or more. That's the whole thing. Like, they can do something in the air, yeah, and I've seen that. But those undrafted running backs, they're going to take a while before they're actually productive on the ground. Number 7 for Tatum. Single digit for him. All right. We can move on. Potentially staying with this next pick. You know, what's intriguing here is just like the running backs aren't going. And there's still 4. Trey Riddick is taken. We're looking at us still having a 2, 4, and 2 6s. I probably want to stick with these picks. There goes Bates. So he goes to Cleveland. I'm not moving up for a running back. If they're still there, they're still there. And now 2 are gone. All right, all the running backs gone. And now even more are going. 6 running backs. Round 2 is the round of the running back. Holy. Have a blast. I can still get a first round talent. I can still take Jadarius Oliver if I wanted to. There's also Daniel Blue, who ran 4.3 at slot. Take that early first corner, you can't pass. He's only a mid 1. That's probably why I let him slide down the board a little bit. But, I didn't know that he ran a 4.3. A late first receiver. A mid first corner. A slot with 4.37 speed is pretty fun. I would also like to see my trade down offers. So we're in the 2028 draft. I don't want your futures. Drop down. Ooh. The Ravens pick in 5 slots. We could pick up a future 4 and a 7. But we have like first round talents available. So blue has the catching traffic, and short route running. Probably wouldn't see the field much. The same goes for the corner. Oliver would be like the 4th, but has a better route to potentially start soon. He is a man-to-man corner though, which makes him less of a scheme fit. So it's all about if the zone is actually like a problem. Oliver's 23. And at receiver, blue is 22. Okay. Huh. I'm going to take Daniel Blue. I like his upside so much, and I think he can be day 1 kick returner. And maybe we just find a role for him. 94 speed, 85 catching, 66 release. I'm sorry I had to leave for a bit. I was last year when we were attempting to trade for a tackle. What did I miss? Patrick, we got the tackle. We got Mekhi Becton. Oh, and blue had normal dev. So, you know, I like the speed here a lot. Catching is really good. Catching traffic's really good. So if we end up moving on from one of these receivers, blue will have some skills, I think, to help us out there. And yes, he does have some running back ability. So there's position flexibility with him. I would consider playing him at running back in the preseason if I end up streaming it, because I think he has the skills to play there. AJ Green has been selected. Didn't realize he was draft eligible. Oh, and on top of the tackle there, Patrick, we also traded for Wyatt Teller. So we made a lot of aggressive moves for the O-line. Didn't have to give up our first round pick this year. We did give up next year's because the Jets valued it more. They're banking on us being a worse team and not picking in the 20s again. They think it'll be a higher pick than the 24th we had this year. And then we drafted a rookie guard. So 3 new starting offensive linemen. I know I said I wasn't going to trade again, but I like trading. I just don't know if this is going to work. Yeah. How do you feel about a future 4th round pick? No. It's too far. It's 2 whole rounds. So if we miss, I mean, I just don't think he was the best scheme fit. There's potential some big downside in the corner if his zone isn't that good. And we just don't know. All right, the Dolphins I have to at least attempt to trade with them because we know how the Dolphins are in these series. They'll just take them. Yeah, I don't see this working out. What about future 5 in there? Close. Not willing to go further. Thank you, boss. Can we get back the same accessories Lev Bell had when he was with the Steelers? They're very similar. Possibly. Let me see Lev Bell with the Steelers. I know he had the visor and the sleeve. Yeah, I do like Bell's Steelers gear. Quarterbacks are going. Checking the board. AFC Offensive Rookie of the Year, though, for UDFA. That'll help some, Dev. Yeah, that'll get you a couple extra points. That'll speed up the process. I still think it takes, you know, in most cases, unless you draft like a 78 overall running back and he plays a ton, you need a few years to get a guy to even approach 4 yards a carry. For some reason in Madden, they got to work on that. You should be able to produce with UDFA running backs. And not just in the pass game. So there are still guys on the board, but who's going to be there late for? Can't really expect a whole lot. We already took a receiver, so I can't see me doing it again. I like Devin Ross. Do I trade up for a backup, though, that I know is going to be a backup? All right, Steelers, I have an offer for you. I think it's an offer that probably won't work. Because I'm still trying to climb up a round and a half here. The rest of our draft. Nope. How about future 5? All right. We moved up. We moved up. Trading all over the place. Gave up a future 5. And because of the age at corner, we're going to hope that Jadarius Oliver can play a little zone coverage. 75 overall normal dev. 71 zone archetype. It shouldn't be terrible. 67. So it's just going to need some attention there. But catching's low. Tackling's low. But good athlete. Good man coverage. So if he gets put into that role, he can handle it. However, 83 injury. That is going to be on the very low end. Hopefully that doesn't become a concern. So there we go. We get Jadarius Oliver. We still keep a 6. And wait till you see what I do with this 6th round pick. It's going to be incredible. I'm going to try to flip it for 2 7s. To me, where this team was, it was time to get aggressive. Make less picks. Do more in free agency. Do more with trades. And we have made a lot of trades today. This is not normally how I build teams. Because, you know, it all depends on where the team is at. You know, do we need to add young players? What are we away from being able to get to the Super Bowl? And this is what I thought we were missing. Impact linemen. Just trade up for talent in the draft. Replace a couple old guys next year. Alright, let's just sim to our next pick. I can't move up. Like, I could, but I'm not. We're here in the 6th round. What's the board like? Wow. I can still get a 6th round power rusher. 6'6", 280. Could Michael Arnett learn something from Justin Johnson? He doesn't have anywhere near the same strength, but he's actually pretty athletic for 6'6", 280. Also, is there a trade down? That's intriguing. Flip it for 2 7s? Probably not. Some of you like the kicker, who I think would be like a backup. Like, I don't think I'd play him this year. He's a 2nd round talent. He's going to be in the 60s for overall. James Clancy is the BPA. He's actually kind of intriguing, but we have receivers. It's either a kicker or Michael Arnett. I'm going to take Michael Arnett. 65 overall, slight reach, whatever. 82 speed, 83 acceleration. You know, he doesn't have a lot of football talent yet. The power rushing, finesse rushing, block shed, not really there. It would take a long time, but he's big and he's a good athlete. And we got him in the 6th round. So there is a project for us to work on. Michael Arnett. Chat won't like it. But let's get to the end of the draft. That was a lot of fun. All right, everybody. Here is your draft recap. We ended up making a 1st round pick, 2 2nd round picks, a 3rd, and then a 6th. 5 total players taken. I think we have 2 guys that have starting caliber upside right now. Oliver potentially, if we didn't already have some depth there for him to compete with. Daniel Blue, we'll just have to see if he can carve out a role. That's a pick that could end up, you know, working out really well, or he ends up getting buried on the depth chart or something. And I am curious about how he would rate as a running back, because I think he could kind of be a hybrid player there. He's an 82 overall running back. I don't think he's Perry Cummings, but he ain't as far away as some other players. I think I have to see him play a little running back. Halfback / running back, okay? Gadget player. There's only one Perry Cummings. We're never finding that again. What should Daniel Blue's number be? Now we gotta play preseason sometime, don't we? I think 7 would be pretty cool for him. What about 5? Two? Because he plays 2 positions? You're going to give him Roseman's number? I don't know if I'd do that. 6? 5? I'm going to give him 5 for now. We'll see what happens. I'm excited about this class. Couple players I wanted to check on, though, from the 1st round. The best receiver. I called it a weak receiver class. The best went number 2, Tyreek Fowler from Auburn to LA. Raw route running, but everything else, yeah. So here's your Mike Williams 2.0. That's basically what he is. I made the mistake of simming the offseason to the draft in my New England rebuild. My coaches left and I got stuck with Patricia. Never again. Yeah, I gotta be careful. Or you have a save file that you can roll back to. Although, maybe you're doing a cloud franchise and that's not an option. So, the corner class was good. Singh had normal dev. Quincy Newton had normal dev. Pippen had hidden dev. Third corner had hidden. Really good athlete. Good man coverage. So I've done some experimenting with converting wide receivers to running back in Madden 21, and they tend to be able to break big plays when watching but are poor in sim. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, kind of shooting for the moon here to hope it works. At least as an 82 overall, the game might care a little bit about that. Like, most experiments at running back don't work. Like, waiting 4 years is a pretty good plan at running back. Developing him forever. And by the time you're signed to a second contract, you might be a player. Deshaun Harold, I think, was a second-round talent, wasn't he? Either way, raw, but hidden dev. KC, I think, hits here in the first round. Delvin Wilkerson, normal dev. I thought about trading up for him. I just thought it would cost us too much. So great speed. Route running needs to come up. The route runnings are pretty low, but the upside is certainly there. Mitchell Holiday, by the way. 91 throw power, 81 deep, 78 short, 90s. They got a good quarterback. The scramblers are already like annoying to deal with. He's got 90 speed. 83 injury is going to be a concern. Colts are still going to be our greatest challenger, I think. First overall pick, by the way, was Otis Woodyard, a 6'4" safety with hidden dev. Will that make enough difference for the Falcons? Let's see. Trey Riddick was another one. Hidden dev. Does he have any cover ability? The archetype's low. Yeah, he's years away from being able to cover like Jason Witten probably with 53 zone 48 man. So really, really good run stopper. If that dev goes above star, then maybe you get there in year 3. 5 for blue is good. Growing up, we watched Reggie Bush highlights at USC. Make him a focused player, return man, third down back, should develop well. Yeah, I think that's a guy where you go into preseason to see what he can do, and then, you know, maybe he does carve out a nice role. Lionel Bates at running back, normal dev 78. Looks good there in the 34. 91 speed, 88 carrying, some break tackle. To me, he was easily the best, but I still felt like, you know, he probably wasn't going to end up with, like, top 10 upside. The running backs were good enough to be, like, first-round prospects, but I just didn't know if anyone was going to be special enough. Maybe Matthew Jenkins is best, because he has some break tackle ability, but he's under 200 pounds, so is that ever going to actually materialize? I'm not checking his dev. We'll find out after 500 snaps. Trey Newton, hidden dev. Alright, we'll see if anyone breaks out of this class. 11 run blocking. Is that normal for running backs? 29? 31? All good, Jason. If you're even watching this part right now. Totally understand. You should move Tatum to linebacker. And I appreciate the super chat, Noah. All the super chats today. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for all that support. Appreciate all the generosity, everybody. Tatum at linebacker. That's an intriguing way to get him on the field early. The main thing is, does he have the strength to hold up? 66 block shed. It's not showing his strength here, but he needs strength to play it. So for instance, if he was listed at left outside, he becomes a 76 with 66 strength. I mean, he could become just like a pure coverage linebacker, but I think there's enough questions. Well, I mean, I do like Tyson at safety, and Perkins played well. I think that you could potentially see it be Tyson and Tatum one day. But I signed Perkins to the 3 years, so I may have to get creative and play him at linebacker just so he's on the field. He can even press. Are we sure Dre Tatum isn't a corner? Super position versatile. Sub linebacker. I like that. I like that a lot. Maybe I don't have to list him at linebacker, because I still want to develop his cover skills, and that's going to make way more sense at safety. But if he just goes and plays in the box, I'm actually going to move him to free. Because, like, he has all the cover skills I've been looking for in that role. So I think we get him on the field right away. I like that. What's the role for Jaden O'Neal? Keep developing and maybe eventually he gets there. I think he's on track to get there one day. What are you doing in there? What are you doing? You hungry? She's trying to get my attention. That was a fun offseason. I really liked it. Is that a dog or a massive cat? That's a cat. She's a big cat. She's a large breed. I wonder if that kicker got signed. Jimmy Short. Who's got the most kick power? Badgley, Jake Elliott, Carlson. Does anybody remember the name of the kicker that I was considering? I wonder if he got picked up. Give me the youngest kickers here. Because there were 4 rookies and only 3 are available. So now we just have to find the rookie. Morgan Hill went to Seattle. So I passed on the kicker. See, the kick power, it was an A, but I'm like, that doesn't mean it's, 96. You think he got drafted? I've never seen the CPU draft a kicker that I can recall. Yeah, he went undrafted. CPU gets first crack at signing players when you sim. Alrighty. And yeah, it looks like there are some really good free agents here because I have the XP set up so that, there's going to be some low 80 guys available. We could use a backup quarterback. Floyd Sheffield, I mean, he might easily be the best option. I always sort by short accuracy. 86, 86, 84. But, I think Sheffield's the best. Yeah. We're going to bring in Floyd Sheffield out of Kansas. XP sliders. So, was Dak available? There's, There's the XP sliders, 3 at 200 here for offensive line. Sheffield was Panthers starting quarterback? He might have been. I can check and find out. Yo, what's the rundown? I'm late. Well, it's kind of the end of the show here. Yeah, I think Woody would have been an option, but Sheffield's got stronger arm, better mobility. Oh my god. What's the rundown? All right, here's the rundown. We made trades here for the O-line. Mekhi Becton. Probably going to play left tackle here. I mean, we brought in the best tackle in the game because we had to get better across the line. And then you're going to see Leslie Good. We brought in Wyatt Teller. We made a move here to bring in Rashad Walker at rookie. You got 3 new starting linemen. I think we have a chance to have a really good offensive line this year that gives Roseman a better chance to hit his ceiling more often than not. And Robert Penn up to star dev. I missed that at the end of last year after he was rookie of the year, or running back of the year. So Robert Penn, maybe a better line to run behind now. We also had to trade away Jermaine Candidate to make the Becton trade happen, but we replaced him immediately with somebody who's even faster. Devin Macklin, blazing speed. He came here from San Francisco. And who are we just going to check on for team history? Who was it? Who was I going to check? I know it wasn't Trey White, but whole career in Buffalo until now. Quarterback. Yep. Floyd Sheffield came here, spent his rookie contract with the Rams, then Panthers, started one season, back to being a backup again. Yep, Candidate got traded. We had to trade somebody. I mean, we wanted to acquire a 99 overall player, and I nearly traded one of our starting, linemen, but chat kind of talked me out of doing that. So I think, I like how we ended up. Where we ended up here coming out of the offseason. I love where the team is at, and I think we have some reasons to watch the preseason. So I'm going to make this an edited video. Going to chop this up, put it into more of a shorter video. And then I think this week we got to stream a little bit of the preseason and check out some of the new faces on the team and see if we can, find a role for a couple of these young rookies. Daniel Blue, moving to running back. He's all of a sudden an 82 overall. The game will care about that a lot. And then also we want to see what the rookie safety Dre Tatum can do. We have a rookie left guard. We want to see how the O-line performs as a whole. So I'm really excited about this team. I had some goals this offseason and we nailed them. Upgraded the O-line, brought in a high-quality corner. We also traded away Isaiah Fletcher. But everything I set out to do, I did. So this is a really good offseason for us. And now we see if we can build upon the 10-6 year. I thought it was time to get aggressive, and now we'll see if it pays off. Yeah, Child's at linebacker. I never considered that. 6'2", 203. I think there's potential in moving him there and just leaving him there and letting him play linebacker, because he's just not that fast for safety. And I never got to add that linebacker because we got turned down in free agency. So if I move him there, does he have strength to hold up? 69. Clyde Foreman, meanwhile, has 70. So why not Marcus Childs? Joe Jackson plays with 72 strength. Kurt Reiner plays with 79. So his is actually fairly high. But yeah, maybe Childs just, he's a linebacker now. Weak side linebacker. Would like if he was, 220-ish, but... I like the team. Now, no first-round pick for next year. That was part of the Mekhi Becton deal. So, hopefully things work. I think that's going to do it for this one, everybody. I hope you enjoyed today's off-season stream. It was surely a lot of fun. I appreciate you all helping me out, getting through this, helping me make moves, helping me make sure I don't miss a bunch of things. And that's one of the greatest benefits of streaming the off-season is just having another, 1,000 people plus be able to say, oh, you forgot this, don't forget about that. And there's a lot of good advice in there. So I'll stream some preseason this week. We'll take care of those abilities. We'll edit some appearances and the accessories. And get ready to rock for another year. Wait, no Fletcher, what happened? We traded Fletcher, signed Tre'Davious White, and Fletcher we traded straight up to get Wyatt Teller. So that was part of getting better offensive line. We had to give up some players. It was the only way. So we did. And hopefully the offensive line is better as a result. So I'll be back again this week streaming more of the Texans franchise. I will be turning this into an edited video. But thank you all for watching. I appreciate you so much. Had a great Sunday hanging out with you guys. Enjoy the rest of it. And I'll catch you all next time. Please leave a like and subscribe, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday and Mother's Day.